This is the Navara Pro 4X. Does it have what it needs to compete in this highly competitive segment? In today's video, I'm going to be taking it for a drive to show you guys the interior as well as the exterior, and I'll tell you if you should be spending your money on this. So let's get into it. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and this week I'm in another bakkie, the Nissan Navara, top of the range from the Navara lineup. And does it have what it needs to compete with the Toyota Raider, the VW Amarok, the Isuzu X-Rider? Let me know in the comments below, what are you guys picking? If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy these types of videos, and of course to support the channel. So from the front of the vehicle, you've got LED headlamps with daytime running lights, you've got your fogs, you've got this front skid plate with a tow hitch in it, and then you've got your Navara embossed. This is aluminium, so it feels quite nice, and then your front grille finished in plastic with your Nissan badging in black and red. I really do quite like the design of this Navara. It looks quite stylish, and you know, with all of these black trims around the vehicle, it actually makes it look quite sporty, right? This one's got 17-inch gloss black rims, and you've got some nice step sills. You've got your mirror housings in gloss black as well as your handles, and the step sill also quite useful to get in and out of the vehicle, as well as get up here on the roof and make use of these roof rails. Roof rails are aluminium and they're finished in gloss black as well. So coming around the back of the Navara, you've got your Pro 4X badging, you've got your brake light and a bee sting antenna, and then you've got some nice set of tail lamps, and these do look like they have a LED kind of finish, so they do look quite nice when they're lit up. You've got your rear bumper with a tow bar fitted on it, and this one's got a 3.5 ton towing capacity. Open up your bin, and there is no gas struts on here, but there is quite a big loading area. You've got this 2-track utility system, which is quite useful for tying items. But I think one of the biggest things for me is that you have to have some sort of retractable bin liner, which is quite useful. And I think for safety as well, you know, being in a bakkie, you need to make use of the bin area. And without a retractable liner, you're kind of putting yourself at risk for, you know, things getting snatched. We are in South Africa, and a lot of the time I had to put groceries and stuff into the back seats. You know, if the kids were with me, it became quite tight and crowded. So definitely a must-have if you're interested in buying one of these bakkies. Additionally, you do get a 12-volt socket as well in the bin area, and quite a decent space, making the bakkie of course so versatile, and that's really what the South Africans love about it. So don't forget, Auto Advisor is a tech company in the automotive industry, and our role is to not just keep you updated with the latest vehicles in the market and produce all the great content for you, but our goal is to get you the most competitive price on your next new or used vehicle. So all you got to do is head over to autoadvisor.co.za, inquire on any vehicle you're looking for, including this Navara if that's what floats your boat, and allow our team to get you the best price on your next car. So give it a shot and let me know in the comments below if we were able to assist, and did we actually get you the most competitive price. So under the bonnet, you've got a 2.5 litre turbo diesel motor, good for 140 kilowatts and 450 newton meters of torque, and it's mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission. Vehicle drives really well, feels quite refined too, if I had to admit, and I haven't been too short of power, to be honest with you. I think it's been driving really well, and I've been really impressed. I think when I looked at the specs and the pricing, I was quite shocked at the price of this bakkie, because it does feel quite nice, and you know, I did quite enjoy driving the vehicle as well, but I'll talk to you guys more about that when we're on the road. So jumping into the driver's seat, and it's quite a decent interior. I really like these seats. They're quite comfortable, finished in leather, and they've got this Pro 4X badging on them. Look pretty cool and very sporty. Some nice white stitching as well. And then additionally, you've got an 8-inch media unit. You've got climate control in the front. You've also got 3 ports, one at the front here, which is the Type A. And then in your armrest, you've got a Type C as well as another Type A and a 12-volt socket. You also additionally get a 12-volt socket here just below your aircon controls. You've got hill descent, you've got rear diff lock, and quite a small cubby, nothing too big. You got plenty of storage on either side of your door, as well as 2 cup holders in the middle. You've got your cluster unit is part digital, part analog. I didn't really have too much of complaints about it. It's got a little bit of settings in it, and I think overall the experience was quite straightforward and easy to navigate. On either side of your steering, on the left hand side you've got your audio controls, and then on the right hand side you've got some of your cruise control settings, and even that was pretty straightforward and quite easy to use. This one is a full-on 4x4, so you do have your 2 high, 4 high, and then of course your 4 low, and then you've got your auto gearbox. And on the right hand side you've got some sensors, your traction control, and then the ability to open up that rear window. I think the reality is, at the price point, I think it's quite well appointed, and it feels quite decent as well. It's got quite a bit of plastics on the inside, but there is a little bit of soft touches here and there, trying to make that experience all the more pleasurable, right? The media unit is quite easy to use. I haven't had any issues with it. I haven't connected my device, so it doesn't have wireless Apple CarPlay, but there is Apple CarPlay available in this vehicle. You do get Bluetooth as well, and then you also got an aux input here in the front as well. So from a functionality point of view, I think it's got the bare necessities, which is what you're looking for. But I think the overall experience and stuff, it's still lacking in terms of the competition, specifically like the Amarok, but I think all in all, pretty decent for what you're getting, and pretty decent for the price point. So in the rear you've got some aircon vents, you've got another type A port, and then you've got 2 cup holders in your armrest, as well as some storage on either side of the door. It's not a bad space at all, and yeah, I think it was pretty comfortable. The seats are in a little bit more of an angle, so I think it's a little bit better than some of the older buckies. And I think the kids didn't have too much to complain about in the back. I don't really spend too much of time in the back, but it was able to have a bit of headroom and legroom for me, so nothing really to complain about, to be quite honest. And that's expected from a bucky, in terms of the overall rear layout. Buckies are not really the most comfortable place in the back, but it is what it is. So let's get on the road, and I'll tell you a little bit about what it's like to drive. So I think on the road the bucky is quite comfortable. Even the engine and stuff was quite toned down. It didn't really feel like it was a bucky unless you're putting it under some severe strain. I think on the dirt, like where I am now, I think it handled it really well. It was quite comfortable, and you can comfortably switch into 4 high and give it a good bashing, knowing that bucky is comfortable in its setting, right? In terms of day-to-day use, I think it worked quite well for me. Mostly on the school run, etc., to and from the office. I haven't really gone too far out, or even got onto the highway. So currently I'm getting about 12.5 liters, right? But to be quite honest with you, as you know, I'm not really paying too much attention to my driving style, just enjoying the vehicle for what it is. And yeah, I think on a day-to-day, it did its purpose and it served quite well. I think, when you in a bucky, I love how versatile these things are, right? Just throw a whole bunch of stuff in the back, load up the bucky, go where you want. I think the only thing that I could really complain about was the fact that there was no retractable bin liner. Obviously, as I mentioned, I think that's a non-negotiable. If anybody's considering a bucky, you have to have that, especially for going into the shopping malls, going shopping, etc. It's a must-have. I don't like the fact that there was no PDC in the front, so there's only PDC in the rear. So that wasn't nice, and I think the reality is that when you're in a bucky, I want all of those cameras because it does make my life a little bit easier. So you do have a 360-degree camera here, as well as a rear parking camera, so you can naturally navigate towards that, right, if you're looking to get that full view in terms of putting it in some tight spots. But I think overall, I'm not too fussed about it. I think for the price point, I think it's pretty decent, and I quite enjoyed it. I think on the day-to-day, it's still very much bakkie-like, so I'm not going to really say anything more than that. It's, you know, it's a bakkie, so that you get what you pay for, right? And I think at the end of the day, at 844,000 for this model, I do think it's a pretty decent deal. But I think it is putting itself up there with the likes of, you know, the Amarok Life, and then you've also got the Toyota Raider, you know, making it the competition even more fierce, right? So you're not really coming in from a price point of view. It does come with a 6-year 90,000 kilometer service plan, as well as a 150,000 kilometer warranty. And what else can I say? I think the reality is it really isn't a bad bakkie. I think it is quite a nice bakkie actually. And you know, trying to come in at under that R1 million mark in this bakkie segment is a difficult task, right? And I think especially with, like, you know, the P series and stuff kind of coming in at the 800,000 Rand price point, a lot of the brands had to adapt in terms of their approach and you know, how do they compete. But I do think the suspension on this one is way better than the P series. P series still feels very stiff for me, and I'll link up to the Amarok and P series review we did here as well, so you guys can watch that video and get an idea. It was quite a big difference, and this suspension, I'm happy to admit that it is quite soft and, you know, seems quite comfortable when you take it on a little bit of dirt and even on the bumps and stuff. Yeah, I think it done a good job. From a safety point of view, you do get quite a bit of airbags. I think there's 7 airbags. You get quite a bit of driver assist, so you've got blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, etc. Unfortunately though, there is no adaptive cruise control, which would have been something I would really have liked to have seen, and this being Nissan's top of the range model, you know, I would have liked to have seen that, but unfortunately that's not the case. So that is the only safety feature that I was looking for that I didn't see on the vehicle, and I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. I would have just preferred it if it was there. And I think, you know, when you're spending 850,000 Rand on a bakkie, you want adaptive cruise control, right? You want to future-proof yourself, and yeah. But I mean, with that said, I don't think it's available on the X-Rider either, and the Amarok, I think on those bakkies it's an optional extra. Not too sure about the Raider, so you guys will have to check out on that one. In terms of the overall sound system on this vehicle, it's decent, but I mean, it's quite flat. The bass wasn't great, but you know, it got the job done, right? And I think you can listen to music, but yeah, it's not a Bose or Burmeister or anything of that sort. It's just a standard system, and I would have liked to see something of a little bit of a better quality. Other than that, I really have zero complaints about the bakkie. I think it's definitely worth the test drive if you're in the market. Check it out. I've given you the competitors, so definitely check out those bakkies as well. And then yeah, you can definitely check out some of the reviews that I've left and the links I've left for you guys in here on the X-Rider, the Amarok, as well as the P series. And let me know in the comments below, guys, which bakkie will you be taking? It is a very, very fierce segment. So yeah, keen to hear your thoughts. Hope you guys enjoy the video. There's a bit of a shorter one, and definitely catch you guys in the next one. Peace.